Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful week. So today I wanted to sit down and do a review on the Everlywell test, the food sensitivity test. So I've taken the test, I just got my results, and I actually vlogged opening the box and kind of my experience with the test a little bit, and I'm gonna go back into detail again with all of it. But for now, let's check out the beginning. All right guys, so I just got my Everlywell box in the mail. I ordered it Sunday, I want to say Sunday, and it came yesterday. I was gone out of town, so I'm just now opening it. Actually stepped on it coming in the house earlier, so the box is a little smushed, but it says, let's see, food sensitivity. Test your sensitivity to 96 foods commonly found in modern Western diets, including gluten, dairy, wheat, and yeast. That's the front. And then the back says collection method, blood, and the markers tested are 96. So I'm just hanging out on my floor in my bedroom. Figured I'd open this up, look at it with you, and then I'm going to determine whether or not I'm going to need help to collect this information. And we'll see. So inside, the first two things I pulled out, I'm not gonna like show them to you because they have my address on them, but it's free shipping to and from, because they mail it to you and then I am mailing it to a lab in Rockland, Massachusetts. I think that's what it is. Fair, are you making an entrance? Are you gonna say hi? Pardon him. But yeah, they also send you a piece of paper that you are to send along with it, and they say that it's super important that you send this, obviously, because then the lab knows what to test you for. So I'm gonna set this to the side. All right, so inside the box this is welcome to Everlywell. After you follow the included instructions and send in your sample, we'll email you as soon as your results are ready. So I did get an email telling me that this package had arrived, and that like I got FedEx updates, and then I got an email from them telling me once it arrived. And then there was also a couple of videos explaining like the different, they give you links to the different videos. So like if you have to do a urine, if you're doing the blood. So this looks like my little testing packet. Let's see what else is in this box. So food sensitivity, your kit includes alcohol prep pad, collection card, safety lancet, there's 3 of those, a band-aid, a gauze pad, a biohazard bag, a lab order, and a shipping envelope. And there's full instructions, and they show you what the little like collection area is. So like that you should cover these little, I don't know that it's gonna, there you go. So like the top one's what's right. So meaning that on the little paper, wherever it is, that's how they want the blood to collect. And these are the little lancets. I guess that's how you say it. This is what you prick yourself with. And gauze and sponges. And okay, so prep. Remove contents of the Everly box, rinse hands in warm water for 2 minutes and dry. Select ring or middle finger tip and clean with the alcohol pad. Puncture site should be on the right or left side. Stimulate blood flow to the selected finger by letting your hand hang at your side for 10 to 15 seconds. Shake your hand back and forth several times. Okay, and then you collect, identify, and clean the desired punctured site using alcohol prep pad. Fold the collection card open on a flat surface. Remove and discard the plastic on top of the safety lancet. Place your finger firm against the surface and hold the safety lancet at the puncture site. To activate, press firmly against the puncture site until an audible click is heard. Allow blood to drip into the circles on the collection card. At least 3 circles need to be filled. Apply band-aid when finished. Okay. Alright, and then you return it once your collection card is completely dry. Write your name and date and time on the collection card once it's completely dry. Put your sample inside the biohazard bag. Place your lab order and sample back into the box and send the box back in the return envelope using the ship label provided. You can leave the kit in a US mailbox. So that's nice. You don't have to. Hi, what you doing? Barking so lovingly in my ear. you don't have to go anywhere. So, well, I mean, you can just, if you have like a mailbox at home, or I guess in an apartment complex. I'm not quite sure how big this situation is that you're mailing back, but this is the little card that you use, and then you put your name and date on it, and then once it dries you can kind of close that off, and then you can put it in this baggie. And you know, the only thing I'm not sure about is what you mail. Oh, there it is. Okay. This is a big mess on the floor. Can you please stop? Lay down, please. And then, so the bottom of the box is your little, he's so cooperative, your little bag to mail it all back. So, I have a giant mess on the floor, and there's lots of parts that come in this box. And I think what I'm going to do, I don't know how many squeamish people are watching this, so I don't want to be mean and make you bear through that. And I also don't want to make you listen to the dog. But I'm going to kind of reorganize this. And then what I'm going to do is have my mother help me with this, because she's a nurse. And I want to make sure that I get it right on the first try. So, but yeah, nice big box that I've completely destroyed by accidentally stepping on it earlier. But I am going to get it together, and once I do that part and like put everything together, I'll come back and tell you what that was like. I think that there's no reason that you couldn't do this by yourself. It seems fairly straightforward, but I just would rather have her do it so I can make sure that I'm getting it right. But it doesn't seem like it's anything that you couldn't do. If you were at home and you just wanted to do this by yourself, you didn't have anybody else, there's nothing about the way they're describing how you do this that says that you couldn't do this all by yourself. But I'll let you know if it was like how long it took, if it was difficult to actually prep it, and then I'll also obviously come back and tell you when I've shipped it and how long it's taken. So this video is gonna take me a couple of however many days. Won't matter for you guys because you'll see it all at once, but I'm gonna go over, I'll probably do this in 2 parts, and I'm gonna go over the full testing and then, you know, share my results with you, and then I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna apply those and kind of keep you updated there. So far this video is already 7 minutes long. It's gonna be a long video, but yeah, that is the food sensitivity test so far. I will keep you posted. Okay guys, so it's the next morning, and I have just done my blood drops for the Everlywell test. So it took me a minute. I ended up doing it by myself, and it took me a minute to kind of figure it out. Like, I have more than one band-aid and I did more than one thing. I threw them out already because I've used them, but so I showed you that there were the blue things and the yellow things. So those are the lancets, and those are what draw the blood. The blue ones are the smaller ones, and those are the ones that they give you, but if you're having issues you can use the yellow ones. I ended up using, I think, all of them. I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling for a minute there. I was really just, you have to get it to like form full blood drops to work, and I was struggling to kind of make that happen. So I think that I did it properly. I'm hoping that I did it properly. I let it dry. I've just stuck it in the little baggie to mail off, and I am going to drop it in the post office. So it is August 25th today when I'm doing this, and then I will update you once I get my information back. My results will be online, so as soon as that's all available I will let you guys know. But yeah, it wasn't difficult. It just took me a few tries to kind of figure it out, and I can kind of go over all of that when I go through the results on like things that I would have done a little bit differently and whatnot. For starters, drinking, they tell you drink water before, and I should have had a lot more. You kind of have to push at the base of your finger to get, because it's like full blood droplets that need to form and drop so that they get all the protein and stuff that's in that. It's not enough to just smear it on there because they need what's actually going on in your blood to do the test. So that was what I initially struggled with. So getting enough droplets and making sure that like doing it on the side, my middle finger ended up being better than my ring finger, because my problem was with my ring finger and the angle that I did it, the blood was forming but it was all collecting under my nail and I couldn't get it to drop. So apologies. This is all gross for you, just fast forward. But yeah, so I definitely struggle with that. So I definitely make sure you drink way more water, use your middle finger, do it kind of on the side so that you can do it at an angle, because that was part of my problem, was that I just wasn't able to get it out from under my nail, and that's where it was all forming. So I'm gonna mail this off today, August 25th, and I will let you know when I get the results and how long that takes and keep you posted. Okay, so now that you've seen how everything that you get in the box and what all of that looks like, I'm going to kind of walk you through my experience with it, a couple of questions that I wrote down that I thought that I would really want answered, and my results. So first off, I mailed back my test. I wrote down some notes. So I mailed it in August 25th, and I got my results this morning. Now I haven't gotten an email yet. I just went in and checked to see if I got my results yet, and it was also a holiday yesterday, so that might have something to do with it. I'm not 100% sure, but I did go in and check, and I got them back this morning. So once it gets to the lab, they say it's like 3 to 5 business days before you see your test results. So all in all, it wasn't like, it was probably 2 to 3 weeks total in time from the time that like I ordered it to the time that I'm like seeing my actual test results. As far as the experience ordering it goes and that part of the review, it was super easy to order. There's a discount code, and I'll put my discount code for you guys in the description box down there. So if you're looking to do it and you haven't done any tests, there's really no reason to pay like full price, because there's totally a discount code for that, so you can save, which is perfect. Obviously you're paying for this out of pocket, so it's a little bit more, but if you don't have insurance, or you're not really wanting to pay for extreme amounts of stuff, or you're just wanting to figure it out on your own, you know, that's totally your decision. As far as healthcare goes, I feel like everybody kind of has to figure out where they do and don't end up wanting to pay there. So let me think. How long does it take? I told you. How difficult is the test? So it's really not that difficult. I got the test, and I will say that I feel like there are things that I wish that I would have paid attention to or done better or known or whatever before doing it. Initially, I thought that I'd probably get my mom to help me do it, just because she's a nurse, and I really wanted to, like, I've tried like at home blood tests before, where you do the blood test to figure out your blood type, and it just didn't work out. So I really wanted to make sure, because I was paying for this, that I got it right the first time. So I was going to get her help, but honestly, I'm a really impatient person when it comes to these things. So I ended up just sitting down at my vanity and doing it myself. Now here's the thing. I read a couple of reviews after I ordered it, which really makes no sense because I already spent the money, but I read the reviews, and some people had said that they wish that there were more lancets, which are the things that you click and use to draw blood. Some people had said that they wish there were more of those because there were like only 2, or that they didn't really work. So obviously from then to the time that I've taken it, it's changed. And I should have already prefaced this, I'm not getting paid at all to do this review. I wanted to do this test, and I honestly wanted to share it with you guys so that you would know what it's like and you would get to experience it. So it's not just, you know, everybody else who's getting paid to review it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, and I'm not saying that those people aren't giving you their honest reviews, but I have no obligation to say anything nice. So anyways, I got my test. They were 4 lancets. So obviously from the time that these people did a review to like now, they've heard that, and so they give you like 2 small ones and 2 big ones. For me, I kind of, the really important thing about it is when you do the blood test and you do the little dots on the paper, you need like full droplets of blood. So it's not just like, you know, if you like cut your finger on the side, yeah, you're bleeding, but you want the like the goopiness. Like you need like the platelets and everything that's going on in your blood, all the proteins and stuff, so that they can test it, because it's not enough otherwise. So I found personally that like the side of one of my fingers was the best, and then you like push down to really get that thickness. That was what really worked for me, because I just found that if I didn't do it in the right spot, like it was all just kind of going underneath my nail, and then I wasn't getting the blood out. So make sure that you drink water before. They tell you to drink like a big glass of water like 30 minutes before, so you're super hydrated. So if you tend to just be naturally dehydrated, make sure you drink like a ton of water before, so that you have all of that in your system. But yeah, getting the blood out, just really kind of pushing down was what helped me like get it out. And they tell you there's little tips and tricks like as you're reading it. I ended up using all of my lancets, but that was because I was struggling to figure it out. But the small ones should work. I think the bigger ones ended up working for me. I didn't really notice the difference in like what they were, and I can actually still see the little like where my finger's healing. You can see it. But you just kind of got to figure out what works best for you. But it's not that difficult. It's just you have to read the instructions, and you really need to be hydrated to do it, and just kind of know what you're like. Make sure you pay attention before, because otherwise you'll get really frustrated. But the biggest thing is making sure that you're getting those like blood dots, like that thickness, so that they can test it. How accurate is it? So this is where I'm not 100% sure. I've read from other people's reviews, and obviously for foods, as far as food sensitivity tests go, if you're testing something like that and you've cut things out of your diet, it's gonna be different. You're gonna test differently with it. I haven't had dairy in like almost 4 years. So for me, those were testing really low. The one thing I noticed with my results, sorry, the box just dropped on the floor. The one thing I did notice with my results is that I was high in things that I felt like I had really eaten in maybe in the 2 weeks prior to my experience with the test. So I don't know if that's because I had just for that time eaten a lot of that particular food, if that changed my testing. So that's one of those things. Like I can't guarantee the accuracy of this test. Obviously they say that it's doctor checked, and that's like part of their gimmick, but for me, there are obviously things that aren't going to be as accurate, because you know, if you've already cut them out of your diet, then you've already eliminated them, and they're going to test a little bit differently. There are certain things that I feel like I react a little bit differently that didn't really test as high on here. So I think it's kind of all in perspective. I think you can take this test and really narrow it down, and then, you know, which brings it on to my next like thing. What do I do next? They recommend an elimination diet, which if you haven't checked out my video from Sunday, that was all about elimination diets. So they recommend doing that, testing it, you know, pulling it out of your diet for 28 days. They recommend, so there's 4 levels of reactivity in this little circular thing over here. So you have high, moderate, mild, and low. High, I didn't have any highs. I had 4 moderates, and then like 16 milds, and then like everything else was low. So for me, obviously with I don't have to worry about the high ones. I would think that if you had a high one, that would be the first thing I'd be like, all right, this is doing something to my body. I need to like get in check with this. I do have 4 moderate ones. So my next steps in that way could be to eliminate those from my diet. Ironically, I've already done that recently, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to do an update in like a month on all of this. But your next steps after you get your test results, you know, either on your own, you can make the decision to do an elimination diet and target those things and then test them at the end of that, because different things react for different people. You may not know how it shows up in your body and why it's doing what it's doing to you. So definitely you can always take these results to your physician, to your nutritionist, to whoever your healthcare provider is, and make a game plan there. Maybe they recommended that you do the test. It's kind of up to you what you do with it. Obviously you could completely ignore it and be like, well, I don't want to give up any of those things that I'm reactive to. That is your choice. For me, I'm planning, so my class 2 moderate reactivity items are wheat, gluten, malt, and cinnamon. I was texting my best friend about this morning, and she is gluten intolerant, and I told her, and I mentioned the cinnamon, and we were both like, we didn't know that you could be reactive to cinnamon. To be honest, I'm most upset about cinnamon. I like to add cinnamon to things, but I haven't really had it all that much lately. And then everything in my class 1, sorry, my mild reactivity. So that's everything that's like 0.2 to 0.3 on the scale. I have squash, black pepper, cucumber, mushrooms, black tea, green beans, bran, brown rice, honey, yeast, eggplant, green pea, codfish, lemon, ginger, soybean, and that's it. So I feel like a good chunk of that is my diet, which is why I'm a little unsure about some of it, because obviously things that are low in sensitivity for me is like everything in the dairy category, but I haven't eaten dairy in like 4 years, so obviously that's going to be low for me. But corn isn't really on there, and I feel like different types of corn don't react necessarily all that well with me. Avocado isn't on there, and I've had different experiences with avocado. I'm trying to like gradually add it into my diet in a way, and some of it for me, I'm trying to determine if it's a mental thing, and if you just like think that it's something and because you know that you're eating it, that's how you feel, or if it's actually what's going on with me. The one thing that's in here is codfish, but I did read that if you're taking like an oil supplement, that it can test positive, and I take fermented cod liver oil. I am in the process of trying to heal some cavities in my teeth, and so that is something that's recommended for that, and I'll do a whole video on that as well. Just tons of content coming. So for me, my next steps are obviously to cut out wheat, gluten, malt, and cinnamon. I've really been eating a very whole foods diet lately, so those aren't going to be super difficult for me. It's just making sure the cinnamon isn't happening, and I guess I'll use nutmeg. I don't really know what people use other than that, and that's going to be another thing, is like researching what other options are. So to kind of summarize this, would I do it again? I don't know. Based on my results, I don't feel like I learned anything spectacular, I'm not gonna lie. But that being said, I mean, I've been very much like studying and doing and like trying things with my body for the last few years. So if you're somebody who is like not even begun to look at health in that way and hasn't even started and tested and done an elimination diet, this might be a game changer for you. For me, I've done an elimination diet. I've been tweaking my diet for the last several years. So I kind of felt like I wanted more confirmation on some things, and it just gave me a better idea, and that's great, and I'm okay with that. But I'm also going to take this as a, you know, it wasn't that like, yes, it was more expensive than most people would want to pay. It gives me a clear kind of mindset going forward as to what I need to do, and now we just kind of have to see what that looks like. So would I do it again? Probably, because I'm curious like that. But you know, if your doctor has a more affordable way to do that, you know, lab tests can be super expensive, and you're just really wanting to know, this might be a good opportunity for you. But they also have several other tests, like vitamin D tests, hormonal tests, things like that, and those I might try in the future too. So if I try any of those, I will definitely let you know. But for now, I'll kind of update you at the end of September, after I've kind of had this time and done my own version of an elimination diet, and you can see the difference. And I'll tell you, you know, like if I'm feeling different, if my energy levels are different, if I'm like losing weight, whatever. But it's kind of a user discretion. But yeah, I'd probably do it again. Can you do it by yourself? Yes. I'm a chicken when it comes to like needles and blood and things like that. I shouldn't be. My mom's a nurse, my dad was a nurse. It's just like normal in my life. I've gotten like flu shots in my kitchen. It's kind of standard in my family, but it's not, it doesn't hurt. It's really easy to do. Just make sure you drink the water and read all of the like little things beforehand. If you want to read like my full thing, I might do a blog post on this. If you want more like in-depth detail on all of that, let me know. But it's really great because it breaks like, when you look at it online versus when you print it out, when you print it out, it really breaks it down for you. So like telling you exactly what everything is. But yeah, I think that it's a great test. It's really easy to do at home if that's something that you're wanting to do. It's affordable-ish, not really. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's a medical test. Like, you can't expect this to be super cheap. So I think that is all that I have to say about that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to update you guys on. If you aren't already following my channel, please hit that button, subscribe, come hang out, and like this video if you want to see more stuff like this, more reviews on things. I have a new video that will be up Sunday, and in case you guys needed the reminder today, you guys are loved and you matter, and I'm so thankful that you are here. I will see you guys on Sunday. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye guys.